Hello everyone, this is Sahil and welcome back to the channel. It's 1st of June and that means it's time for our monthly update. So I'll cover my finances and my portfolio. Together with that, let's also talk about the hype in the market, the meme stocks. So together with Bitcoin, of course, we cannot leave that. It's been a while that I've talked about it, but my stance still stays the same. I'm just going to reiterate that. So yeah, let's get it rolling. Let's start with the portfolio first. My portfolio currently stands at $85,815. It's slightly up from last month, which was about $85,500. Not much of a difference, but we can go into the individual company and figure out what really happened. We have ST Engineering slightly up, just regular fluctuation, nothing really happened. Bns Holdings as well is up 3%. That looks some move, but it's also within the range. It's been moving here and there for past 1 or 2 months. Then we have the three Singaporean banks. It's quite at the same level right now, but last month we saw a dip because Singapore went into a partial lockdown, so we are not allowed to go out and dine in, and we are just left with takeaways or food deliveries. That means that the retail and the F&B industry are going to be affected by it. There's less people going out to have food, so that means there will be less people looking around window shopping or actually shopping as well. That means there will be more bankruptcies coming up if they are struggling, right? And that's why banks were affected, but they are back on their levels and they're actually pretty close to their pre-pandemic level. Like DBS has already been, DBS is already at its pre-pandemic level, but OCBC and UOB are not far as well. So they have recovered almost completely. Then we have Ping An Insurance. So it has been trading very low. It's slightly up from last month. However, I've already made a video on it covering everything that have happened and the Q1 earnings. So if you're interested, just go see the video. I don't have to talk much about it here. Bns International Holdings. Now this is the one that is up 36%, which is some serious gains. But it's again like having huge fluctuations because you see in the past 3 years, Hong Kong, this company operates in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong has been hit by the protests at first and then the coronavirus. So the retail industry has been affected a lot there. But recently things have been improving. In the past few months, there was positive growth in the retail sales and spending. I don't know what you call it. So there have been some positive growth, about more than 10% each month, and in the March specifically 20%. So also within this time frame, right, within the past 3 months, Bns International Holdings has actually doubled their outlets. If they're able to bring, like, the sales grow back to the same as the pre-protest levels, the Bns International Holdings should be double the value it was pre-pandemic. So it was at about I think 90 cents, and then that means it should be about $1.80. So even if it touches $1.50, I'm gonna sell this stock and yeah, move my money somewhere else. I will buy it again if it dips ever again, but I'm still holding. I've already sold half of my position in this company in Feb when it also saw a spike and it went up to $1.35. So yeah, that's that. And AEM Holdings, this is at $3.66. It also saw a huge drop last month when the earnings were released. And I'm planning to make a video on it and answer the question if it's still a buy. So just hold up for that video and I will talk everything in relation to AEM there. Then we have Ping An Healthcare. It's down. I mean, it's up from the last month number, but still quite low. Low from my average cost, about 22%. So it is something that I should be averaging in, but I don't have the cash. And even if I have the cash, I think I have better opportunity somewhere else. Moving on to JD. JD, we have seen some positive numbers. So it's at $302 currently, Hong Kong dollars. So yeah, I've also made a video on the Q1 report and told you guys if it's still a value or not. If you are interested and haven't seen the video, you can go and check it out. It's named as Q1 results or something along that line. I will actually put down all the videos in the description, so if you want, you can go through those links. Then we have Energy AG Holdings. It's down about 7%, but it's just that it got adjusted for the dividend payout. So the ex-dividend date was last month, and that's why you see the numbers adjusting for it. Anyways, it's still actually a positive. If you don't like, I mean, I'm just taking the number last month and comparing it with this month, right? But in general sense, whatever is paid out of a company would be deducted from its share price. The stock must be down 11.5%, but it's actually just down 7%. So that is great. That means I'm still in positive. And China Water Affairs Group. Now this one is an unexpected one. It has dropped to $5.97. I wasn't expecting it to drop below $6.1, but nevertheless it happened. And I think it's because they issued some bonds recently and some senior notes, so maybe it's because of that. But nevertheless, CWA is also reporting their earnings, I think this month or the next early next month. So the earnings are definitely going to be good. I'm not really bothered by it. I know the company is stable, the company is growing, and everything is good with the business. So I'm fine with it. The price will follow. Short term, maybe not, but the price should follow where the business is going. Other than individual stocks, I was also planning that I sell out of these boring companies like ST Engineering, DBS, OCBC, the Singaporean banks. Like, I'm not really bothered about that. I'm not interested to go learn what's happening and all those things. So I was thinking, like, why not just sell out of these? They have already reached almost their potential. Like I mentioned earlier, the three banks are at their pre-pandemic level. ST Engineering is also a bit far, but still I have had decent gains on it together with the dividend. So yeah, I was thinking, like, why not just sell them out and move my money somewhere else. Like the thing is that I have invested into these companies through CPF, mostly the Singaporean companies, and the only company I have cash into is AEM Holdings. So I was planning that by selling these companies, I can move the CPF money into AEM and sell off the cash position. That way I have some cash available to spend on the overseas companies that I have more conviction on, the companies like Ping Han, JD, China Water Affairs. So I can move my money here and have have better gains there, right? But then again, I thought, like, let's keep the CPF money in safe companies, like, the safest companies that I can buy with that, with consistent cash flow from the dividend. And also at the same time, DBS, OCBC and UOB currently have their dividend cut. So going forward, they're gonna get back to the same levels, and my yield on cost would be more than 7%. So that would be awesome, right? It will be consistently generating me income, and it's better than what I get on my CPF account, which is like 2.5%. Or 3.5%, I forgot. So yeah, getting a 7% yield is obviously great. So the other thing is also that when you hit rough waters, it's these companies that saves your portfolio from all the losses. So that's the entire point of diversification. Even if the certain asset is not performing good, you know that when the shit happens, it is gonna save your portfolio. That's why you still hold it, and you can't predict when the things are gonna go down, right? So that's why you're holding on to all of the assets, or in this case, the companies into different sectors and whatever not. So in the end, I decided to just continue with what I have and be diversified. I'm still in I only have about 10 companies invested. So I can still take care of, I can have the understanding. I can look at the earnings report of all the companies that I'm invested in. So I'm still informed about my investments. I'm not overly diversified and diluted like people having 30 to 40 companies in their holdings. And I'm also not so concentrated that something happening could destroy my portfolio. Like, there's this other YouTuber called Chicken Genius. He has 95% of his holdings in Tesla. So obviously he has a lot of conviction for Tesla, right? And more power to him, because he has seen a lot of gains on his portfolio and he still believes that it could 10x. So if he's invested in it and he makes a lot of money, then more power to him. But to me, I feel comfortable with about 10 companies, and I'm going to stick to that. I'm not going to overly dilute myself, and I'm not going to be overly concentrated in one company as well. So that's that. And now it's time that we talk about all the hype in the market, starting with Bitcoin. Maybe, actually, I'm not sure Bitcoin is still hype or still a hype or not. It's down from its all-time high of 64,000 to about $36,000 that it's trading at right now. I'm not entirely sure what really happened, just because I'm not following it that much, and I'm not really interested to do so. Also, just as a disclaimer, this is just my opinion that I'm sharing. The reason that I'm not interested in Bitcoin as an investor, there could be other people. I mean, I don't consider myself as expert. I don't think I understand Bitcoin to the level where other people do, and obviously you should do on your own research, right? But anyways, I believe that the drop in the past few months was because of China clamping down on all the crypto related operations, and then also Elon Musk tweeting that Tesla won't be accepting Bitcoin for transaction in the near future. It's really messed up, right? How one person, Elon Musk, can manipulate the cryptocurrency so much. He was the reason that it got pumped earlier this year when Tesla bought some of the Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and he's the reason why it is getting dumped now. It's really funny, and take note of the words that I'm using: pump and dump, if you understand. But anyways, we are not here to talk about Elon Musk. I'm sure there are a lot of other people doing that already. But let's talk about this legend that we have, who's really very well respected in the financial world, and even analysts from firms like JP Morgan use his numbers in their financial models, numbers like equity risk premium, country risk premium, and all those things. The legend is Dr. Damodaran. He's a professor from NYU, and the best part is that he has his own YouTube channel. If you're interested to really learn something, go and subscribe to his channel. He makes real videos on financial education. So yeah, and obviously it's going to be underrated for what the amount of information that provides. I mean, people are not willing to listen to real shit. What they want to listen to is all the hype and whatever. So yeah, what I wanted to just talk about is that he actually made a video on Bitcoin in 2017, and he actually classified investments into 4 different categories, and he was trying to find out which category Bitcoin belongs to, so he can value the asset, or he can he has to compare it with something else to value it, right? So that's the thing. So the 4 category he according to him for financial investment is cash flow generating assets, commodities, currencies, and collectibles. Cash flow generating assets are like businesses or a rental property, where you get value of a business, or value of the asset from the amount of cash it can generate going forward. Then you have commodities, where they get their value from the fundamental use they have in our society, things like food, energy, and so on. Thirdly, we have currency, which is just a medium of exchange or storage of wealth, in other terms. Then we have collectibles, who get their value from aesthetics or rarity. They don't really have any use, but yeah, the value of such objects are in the eye of the person who's buying them, right? To some, it would be worth a fortune, and for others, it would be worthless. If we take these 4 categories and look at the bull and bear thesis, the bulls say, correct me if I'm wrong, they believe that Bitcoin is the future currency, or the global currency, and some also refer to it as the millennial gold. Whereas bear says that it's too slow, too volatile, and many other things to be a currency. Where I stand, even if, let's assume that Bitcoin is the currency, or it has all the capability of being good. It's fast, whatever thing you want to assume. It's very good as a currency. Even then, there's one issue. no government in the world will allow Bitcoin to be a currency in their country, simply because it's not in their interest and they have the power to ban it. China has already done so, and like I mentioned, they're clamping down on all activities in relation to cryptocurrency within the country. Then we have India, which is also banning it. I'm not sure about their intentions to do so. I mean, it's a corrupt country, but whatever the reason is, they will be banning it as well. Hong Kong is restricting it only to professional investors, not retail investors. So the chances of it being a currency within these three countries is zero, right? And then you have a US. So US will obviously not allow Bitcoin to be a currency. Why? Because you have to know that US runs a budget deficit every year for past so many years. This year itself, they had planned a budget deficit of about $1 trillion, but Biden came in with his stimmy checks and the deficit blew out to be $3.6 trillion, and that is insane. That is really insane. That is the amount of money US government generates $3.8 trillion in revenue. So they are just throwing, like, they're spending twice as much as they earn, which is crazy. Like, at that pace, they can't stay afloat. Simple as that. And that's not the weird part, right? The weirdest shit is that the hype is to this level that random people are coming up with their own coins. And as a founder, they keep most of let's say they keep half of the coins to themselves and they let other people mine the rest. People trade it around and it jacks up in the price, and then they dump their own coin, and voila, out of thin air, you have made millions of dollars. This is insane. Like, it's like me writing on a paper and giving it to someone at $100, and he giving it to someone at $200, and then he giving it to the third person at $400, and then I take a bunch of paper, write the same thing on it, and then I just sell it out at $400. That is just fucking stupid, right? Sounds stupid, right? But that is exactly what is happening in the cryptocurrency world now, especially in the ICO. These coins have no freaking value. Like, if you even go back to your own original thesis, right, that they will become the currency and all those things, these freaking ICOs, the random coins that are coming out, are not gonna become anything. But it doesn't stop there. It gets even weirder. With that piece of paper, you would question that, how would you make other people buy it at $100? They won't, right? It's simple as that. But they have found this awesome scammy shit called MLM to do that for them. So they pitch it to the other person, the MLM scheme that, you buy it from me, then you sell it to other people and you will gain, and they will sell it to the other people and you will gain a percentage of it. It's a fucking scam now. It's going so bad. Like, this is the time where you should understand it. It's a freaking hype. Like, you have involved MLM into these coins and shit. If this isn't a sign of a bubble, I'm not sure what is. And I believe most of the people that got invested into cryptocurrency within this year are all the noob investors. Like, they have never invested a single penny anywhere before, but because they get attracted to the hype, they start investing into these risky things. And there's a saying in the stock market: if even the taxi driver is talking about it, is buying it, then it's a high time that you run away from it. Same is applicable here. And also with the meme stocks, right? It's the same thing. The noob investors are getting into it because they see all the other people making money from it on social media and so on. But one thing that they don't see is that for every person that has made a lot of money from it, there are thousands that have lost money. But these people are not going to come into the highlight and say that, oh shit, I made a mistake and I lost my life savings. No, right? They will be crying somewhere. There's that. And so more and more new investors are getting into this. Actually, most of the people that I've talked to know that it's in a bubble and it's going to crash. Like, talking about the meme stock, right? AMC is already trading at twice the valuation it was trading at before pandemic, right? And it is a theater, like they own theaters, right? So in the best case scenario, the business will return to the pre-pandemic level. But then again, it's insanely overvalued. And the only reason it is overvalued is because they're buying. These noob investors are buying in the hopes that there will be another noob investor who's stupid enough to pay more for it just because of the hype. But it is all so stupid, right? That is not an investment. It's just gambling, pure gambling. And they think that they will be smart enough to just pull out right before the crash happens. That is the most stupid thing that you can think of. Like, if it was that easy, right, everybody would be doing it. And that's the thing, everybody is doing it. If everybody thinks that the stock is going to crash at 10, right, they will try to sell out at 9, and that will cause the crash to happen at 9, or even before that. So you never know when the stock is going to crash. It's just the time where the hype will die out, right? Or somebody big will start pulling out his money, one small drop, and then the panic starts to happen. It's the cycle of emotions. If you know that, it's a true thing. It's not something you can control. You're not smart enough to do that. It has been happening for so many years, and it will continue to happen, and it will happen with you too. So yeah, you can't time the market. And in the end, I would just like to say that if the only reason you're buying is because you think there will be another person stupid enough to pay more for it, then you're just gambling away with your money. It's not an investment, and highly likely you will lose your money with that. And also, so I forgot to address the millennial gold thing, right, for Bitcoin. So yeah, talking about referring to Dr. Damodaran again. So he mentioned that in order for it to be something like a gold, right, it has to be negatively correlated to the stock market. So if the stock market goes down, or economy goes down, gold should go up. Everybody should be pouring the money in, but that is not the case. We don't have a long history with Bitcoin because it came after the 07 crisis, so we don't know how it performed during a serious financial crisis. But the data we have for is the recent pandemic drop in April last year, where Bitcoin was actually positively correlated to stock market. It actually dropped more than the stock market during the April sell-off, and it actually increased more than stocks when the stocks recovered. So that means it's positively correlated to stocks, and that means it's not really a hedge against anything. So it fails as a millennial gold thesis as well. So yeah, now going back to the original question, what category does Bitcoin belong to? In my opinion, it belongs to the collectible category. It doesn't have any use per se. It probably will never have a use. Also, it gets its value from the rarity, right? Everybody believes that there are only 21 million Bitcoins, so there is some rarity attached to it. But then again, I believe it's a terrible collectible because it doesn't have any aesthetic value. You won't go around telling people, "Oh, look at my Bitcoin wallet. It looks so beautiful." No, right? So to me, Bitcoin is not even an investment. It's just like some stupid thing that people are just hyped about. I understand it's a great technology, and the underlying technology of blockchain is amazing, and it is revolutionary. But I think they will be used in some other way. It's valuable to be used in some other way. Cryptocurrency has no entitlement to this thing, right? It can be used by financial institutes. It can be used by the governments to have their own digital currency, whereas Bitcoin itself is just nothing. It has no freaking use, and I don't believe it will ever have any use. You can just pay for it as much as you want. Then again, the value of it is in the eyes of the beholder. If you believe it's $64,000, if you're willing to pay for it, then it's worth $64,000. For me, it's worth zero, so I'm not going to pay anything for it. With that, we have come to the end of the video. Until the next one, ciao.